attacks will.
All right, y'all, check it out. Check it out, man. What's going on, man? It's hella games, cuz this is my first live video, man. I just wanted to document this motherfucking Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, man. Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. I want to put his name first every time, all the time, man. So y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Tell your friends about it, man. We about to get into it, chat. Hey, y'all get to the comments, chat. Let me see what y'all got going on, man. We about to back it up a little bit because I want to see. Yeah, see, look at this. Look at all this time we got, y'all. Cause I want to go through and see right about to where they started questioning. Where they started questioning my boy. Come on, get down, get your ass down. My cat crazy. I want to go through and see where they started questioning. Okay, right here.
The hand was resting based on the documents you've reviewed.
I think that the demonstration was with the hand flat, like this, across and maybe even curled over the edge of the bar like this.
Which side was facing upward? Which side of the hand?
The back of the hand, or we call it the dorsal surface of the hand, was up.
Doctor, if you could get closer to the microphone, I would just appreciate
sorry.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you referred to the back of the hand as the dorsal side of the hand, is that
That's
right?
correct.
Sort of like the dorsal fin on a shark?
Correct.
Fair. And what is the other side of the hand called?
The palmar surface.
Palmar? Okay. So what direction was Mr. Depp's hand resting on the bar?
So the dorsal side was up, which with the descripted mechanism of injury or the injury, the bottle would have struck the top of the finger at the fingernail.
And you also mentioned a term that I'd like you to explain to the jury, crush injury, please.
So with review of the images and the x-rays, I mean, this was a crush injury. That would generate the findings clinically on x-ray that we saw. The fracture is a we call it comminuted, and the tip of the finger is in multiple splinters, so there are multiple fragments, and typically you see that with a crush type injury.
So a comminuted fracture is one where there's multiple fragments of bone?
That's correct.
And what was the basis, other than what you've read and heard, but from the pictures, what was the basis of your opinion that the hand was resting palmar side down?
Well, that was the way the injury was described and demonstrated in the videos, and so in that position, were the bottle to strike the finger the way it was described, it would have struck on the nail, and
Listen. First of all, I don't trust nobody that's sitting that relaxed in the courtroom talking about somebody cutting their finger off. Because to me, that made me feel personally like, dude, really like, how can I put this? That personally made me feel like, yeah, I don't know. It made me feel a certain type of way. Like, you too comfortable and your answer so comfortable that it's like you already knew before you came in exactly what you was about to say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was nah.
And the nail was really not injured, and so that's not consistent with that pattern of injury.
Michelle, could I get you to pull up exhibit DX 369, page 26?
Law and Crime Live
Your Honor,
Network.
This is admitted. Ask for permission to publish.
Law and Crime Network Live. That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Moore, is this one of the images that you reviewed?
What?
Yes.
Tell us, in relation to your expert opinion on the cause of Mr. Depp's injury, tell us what you see in this picture, please.
So this is it looks like an avulsion type injury where tissue's actually pulled.
Hey, y'all. Just hey,
or pinched
I ain't gonna
away.
stay, but like
I think what's important in this picture is that
This
the
all-
tissue loss is on the
this.
palmar aspect from underneath the finger rather than all transversely in the finger, which you would anticipate if the bottle
All
struck
that
the
shit
finger. You
wrong.
would expect more of a this level
What?
of injury rather than
What? Ain't
isolated
no
to
way,
the
what?
palmar aspect.
ain't no
What
way,
do you
bro. We'd
notice
be in
about the
court.
condition of the
we-
fingernail
what?
in this picture?
So from this image, the fingernail appears to be intact. You can't necessarily see the entire nail, but there are other images that have a better
Okay, just wanna be
profile of that.
around and shit.
And the nail's not elevated. There's no subungual hematoma beneath it, or there's no
He on my
bruise
check,
underneath
yeah.
it. Anyone that's ever stuck their finger in a drawer or caught it in a car door or hit it with a hammer knows that almost immediately there's typically
Come on. Come on.
bleeding underneath the nail, which creates
Come
this
on, bag
hematoma.
up.
So-
Bag up, cat.
Not being a doctor, I'm going to try
Come
to
on, come on.
summarize what you just said. Are
Something
you
like
saying
a
that
bird.
in an injury like this, if something had come from the top, that there would be an immediate impact to the fingernail
yeah,
bed?
Off of me, cuz.
That's correct.
It's crazy.
Michelle, could you please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1?
Hold on, y'all. I think my shit running kind of wonky.
44. Your Honor, this has been admitted as well.
Okay, get your ass on, man.
Thank you.
Hey!
Dr. Moore, I believe you mentioned just a few minutes ago that there were other pictures that showed more of the nail. Is this one of those pictures?
Yes.
And explain to the jury, again, and I'm sorry for the graphic nature of this photo, but it's important that the jury understands the basis for your opinion that a bottle couldn't have caused this coming in from above.
Yeah, so it's again, the mechanism described would have almost certainly led to severe nail injury. You know, I see no subungual hematoma. Again, it's a palmar tissue loss, and the loss is from distal to proximal, which is from the tip back far below the nail. And so for it to create that tissue loss down there would almost certainly have to be injury dorsally with that described mechanism.
So what you're saying is that something coming from the top could not have left the nail intact and yet caused injury from the tip of the finger underneath the nail.
Objection leading.
Overruled.
So what they saying is, they saying that because he's saying that she swung the bottle, boom, they hit her finger, hit his finger, chopped his, feel me? They saying that his story inaccurate with the way the is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what they saying. They saying that you got to be lying because ain't no way like a bottle could hit you boom and chunk your shit out and not take your nail with it. That's what he's saying. That's what his point. That's what the doctor trying to make that his point.
You can answer.
So I believe that with the mechanism described, that if the bottle struck the nail, there would have certainly been an injury to the nail bed, and in order for the soft tissue injury to be created by that mechanism, there would have almost certainly been tissue loss on the top of the finger as well.
Does Mr. Depp's description of what happened line up with the undisputed photographic evidence that you've reviewed?
No.
Now, we mentioned the term crush injury a few minutes ago. I'd like to show you DX360, please. And, Your Honor, this is, we won't publish this at this time. Is
What do you
this a
want?
document that you reviewed in connection with your expert opinion in this case?
Yes.
And Michelle, if you can please go to pages, I believe they're 5 and 6. Your Honor, I would ask for permission to publish
What?
these as a demonstrative to the jury.
Just page 5 and 6.
Sorry,
What do you want, bro?
09 and 10.
Page
Two
9
pages.
and 10. Could you
back
go
here.
to 10
then,
also,
so
so
this nigga.
plaintiff can see it? Okay, any objection?
Hey man, Cats is weird. Y'all hear him? I don't even know if y'all can hear him. Y'all hear that? He going crazy. Chill out, man.
Objection to 09?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, 09, 010 can be published.
Dr. Moore, what are these pictures of?
So these are x-rays of the injured digit.
And what do you observe in these x-rays? Explain to the jury what you see.
So these are two views. So one in the plane looking through the finger in this direction, one in the plane looking through the finger sideways. And you can see that the tuft or the tip of the finger, the last bone in the finger called the distal phalanx, is shattered. You can see there's multiple little spicules of bone. And there's also a transverse fracture at that level, which runs through the
All
bone.
right, Cat, come on.
So this is what we would describe as a comminuted fracture, and it's commonly associated with crush injury.
In your decades of practice, Dr. Moore, have you ever seen a comminuted fracture like this result from an object thrown in the way that Mr. Depp described?
Well, not with the constellation of findings shown on the x-rays. I mean, I think that could create a fracture, but in this setting, it wouldn't create a fracture with without the associated other injuries that we would anticipate.
All right, so they saying that without the glass bottle couldn't have smashed his bone and cut out all that meat, yada, or whatever they say happened. They saying he lying, basically.
And in your decades of practice, when you see a comminuted fracture like this,
so
what are
now-
some things that have typically caused it?
So crush mechanisms could be,
So now we about to
Is that
get
correct?
into his.
that's correct.
Bro, what
That's
is
not
up with
entirely
you, bro?
accurate, is it, though?
Get on. Get
No,
somewhere, bro.
his description
Tripping
was
right now.
relatively
Relax.
consistent in both, including turning and resting the hand
Because I want to hear what she's talking about.
that we call an avulsion, or where the tissues add stability for comfort and to protect fractures in the course of treatment.
Is that plaster splint hard or soft?
What's plaster Paris? It hardens like a cast does.
Dr. Moore, does Mr. Depp's description of how his finger became injured line up with the facts that you've seen?
No.
I have no further questions.
All right,
Thank you, Dr. Moore.
Cross-examination?
So basically, Dr. Dickhead trying to say that Johnny be lying out here in these streets, man. But Johnny lawyer about to step in on some. She about to step on that ass.
Good morning, Dr. Moore.
Good morning.
You said you reviewed Mr. Depp's video deposition, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you said you reviewed Mr. Depp's testimony at this trial, correct?
That's correct.
And was that also a video of his testimony?
Yes.
And you testified that Mr. Depp demonstrated that his hand was flat on a surface, is that correct?
That's correct.
That's not entirely accurate, is it, though?
No, his description was relatively consistent in both, including turning and resting the hand on the edge.
Isn't it true, Dr. Moore, that when Mr. Depp did the demonstration in his deposition, he showed that his fingers were hanging over the bar?
Well, even hanging over the bar, it still leaves the dorsum of the hand or the nail vulnerable
That's
to
not
the...
my question, Dr. Moore. My question is, isn't it true?
Hey, the way she be slicing through these niggas, the way she be slicing through them, that's not my question. Listen.
That Mr. Depp said his fingers were not laying flat on a table, they were hanging over the bar.
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, you knew that when you made that opinion. Isn't that correct?
Well, I believe that as I demonstrated sitting here, that I said that he had said they were slightly curled over, I think was the description that I gave.
Your description in this courtroom was that it was laying flat, and I think you've done that now twice. But in your deposition, you testified that his fingers were actually hanging over the bar. Isn't that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Ms. Stacy.
Hold on, baby girl. Ain't playing with it.
It provides
Hold on.
stability for comfort and to protect
We ain't about
fractures
to
in the
just
course
do
of
that and
treatment.
say that and not do that.
It said they were slightly curled over, I think, was the description that I gave.
Your description in this courtroom was that it was laying flat, and I think you've done that now twice. But in your deposition,
Okay, so basically she caught him lying in the middle of court. Caught that nigga lying. She's saying he laid his hand flat. She's saying he said that twice, but in his deposition, meaning before trial, shit they wrote down, shit like that, he saying he laid his hand like over
you testified that his fingers were actually hanging over the bar. Isn't that correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Misstates the witness's testimony. He clearly indicated they were curled, or could have been curled.
Overruled.
Hold on, y'all. I gotta close my door. It's nice outside. I was trying to feel that shit.
So that's a that's a distinction that perhaps I misstated in one of the two descriptions. However, that does not substantially change my opinion of the impact it would have on the mechanism.
So what he's saying is, cause his hand was laying like that, that wasn't gonna change the fact that the glass wasn't gonna rip his finger out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, this how I feel. Like, you know, like in the moment of something happening, you kind of like, it's a either delay or a reaction. Like, so even if he do got say his hands like laying over the thing, you feel me? What's going on? Whoever hit that like button, man, subscribe, comment. But whoever, you know, he got his hand like this. If he's saying it ain't gonna break it, but let's be honest, man. In the moments stuff be happening, you be thinking like, oh, I ain't think that was gonna do that, cause you never know how shit can happen. Like, just cause you saying like, you know.
Isn't it true that Mr. Depp also testified that the bottle came from an off angle?
Yes.
Okay. And you consider that in rendering your opinions today, correct?
Should be coming from.
Yes, I believe he stated that it came from between 6 and 10 feet. I think it was I think he demonstrated it was off to his right. I can't recall specifically, but it was off angle, yes.
Okay. So it didn't come from the top, as you previously testified just a few minutes ago, correct?
Then she just caught him lying again, y'all. Hey, listen. She just caught him lying again, y'all. She just caught him lying again, y'all.
Well, no, it would have struck the top of the finger, but it may have been slightly off angle in its approach based on the description.
Mr. Depp described it as off angle, correct?
Correct.
Dr. Moore, just at the outset.
Listen, hey, I'm not a lawyer or what's them folks that examine folks? You know, I ain't none of them type of motherfuckers, but I can read body language, man. Dude, know he caught now, and now he trying to just, but he just, that's what he on right now. So he know he caught now. Now he know he caught. You could tell. You just tell his whole little posture, the way his demeanor changed, man. It's a slight change, but it changed, nigga.
Outset, your billing rate for providing deposition testimony is $1,000 per hour?
That's correct.
All right. And you were deposed in this action for several hours on March 22nd, 2022?
That's correct.
And your billing rate for providing trial testimony is $5,000 per day?
That's correct.
You were retained in this case by Ms. Heard's legal team, correct?
Correct.
And over the last few years, you've provided expert services for one of Ms. Heard's law firms on at least 2 other cases, right?
That's correct, yes.
Dr. Moore, is it fair to say that you have no personal knowledge as to how Mr. Depp injured his finger in Australia, correct?
No, I have no personal knowledge. My impression is based on his description of the injury and the available medical records for review.
But you weren't in Australia with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard,
I
correct?
was not in Australia, no.
And so therefore you have no personal knowledge as to how that injury was sustained.
Correct.
You also never personally examined Mr. Depp's finger, did you?
Correct.
You didn't examine Mr. Depp's finger at the time it was injured.
I did not.
And you never provided any medical treatment to Mr. Depp in connection with his finger injury, did you?
I did not.
Right. So for you to be a doctor, okay, yeah. But if you didn't examine a man, you ain't. Listen, it's hard to make a judgment on something. My cat right by the microphone fucking purring. Killing me. Killing me, man. Listen. No. Get back. No. Stop trying to climb on my table. What's up with you? Listen, man, this is my thing, man. You ain't examining him, so how can you tell even from you looking at pictures, you're not looking at the actual shit right in front of you. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be there to be there, man.
Now, you've testified that you identified Mr. Depp's finger injury as a crush injury, correct?
Correct.
And a crush injury is when a body part is crushed or trapped between two opposing firm surfaces, yes?
Yes.
And a crush injury to a finger can occur when a foreign object hits the finger, right?
Yes.
And based on the pictures that you reviewed of Mr. Depp's finger injury, you cannot determine what particular object caused the injury to his finger, yes?
Well, I can't determine exactly what object did it. I think that I can say with confidence.
So listen, Cat, why is you right by the microphones? Anyway, man, y'all, if y'all okay with it, man, y'all about to hear some purring and shit in this bitch, cause my nigga is not moving. But look, man, this is my situation. If y'all tell me in the comments, man, too, like explain how y'all feel about this situation. He ain't never been there. He wasn't around. You know, such forth, so forth and third. But he's saying all this like because he a doctor, he an expert at these type of injuries and stuff like that. So he giving his, you know, his educated guess is what he doing at the moment, and then plus his account for the things that he did deal with in the situation. But what she doing is telling him like, yo, you attested to you said doop, you said this. But right now, I'm telling you what you wrote down was different. Your deposition was different. See what I'm saying? My cat, this mic new, so the cat trying to figure it out. Mike ain't new, but it's in a new spot. So now he like, what the fuck going on? But yeah, man. So she catching him in his lies, man, and he feeling it right now.
Confidence that the described mechanism of the bottle hitting and shattering the finger was not consistent with the appearance
I
of the injury.
understand that.
And
My
I think
question is just very specific. You can't determine the object that caused the injury to Mr. Depp's finger.
it's a little bit more of a.
Can y'all answer that for me? Is yes or no? Can you determine what the fuck hit him with? Yeah, yes or no? That's all. You see what I'm saying?
Of a non-specific answer.
Get
I
down,
mean,
bro.
you know,
What the fuck is wrong with
again,
you, bro?
I
Chill
can't
out.
determine the exact object, but I can determine that it's unlikely that
Relax.
it was
What's wrong with you?
sustained in the manner described.
A bottle is a foreign object, isn't it?
I don't know what's up. My
Yes.
Okay. So you can't rule out that the injury to Mr. Depp's finger was caused by a vodka bottle, correct?
Well, based on the injury pattern, I can say that the described mechanism of injury is inconsistent with medical findings.
Right. But because a vodka bottle is a foreign object, you can't rule out that a vodka bottle is what caused Mr. Depp's injury.
Well, I can't rule out that a vodka bottle caused the injury, but I can rule out that it was caused in the manner described in his testimony.
So he's saying basically he can say that she didn't hit him the way he said she hit him, but it wasn't about. But he can't say it wasn't about him. So if you don't even know what he got hit with, how can you say that he ain't get hit with what he got hit with? Like, explain. Like, again, in the comments, man. Get in the comments, man. Light them boys up. Let me know what they talking about, cause I ain't understanding that. You can't tell me what happened. You can't tell me what he got hit with, but you can tell me that she didn't do it the way he says. Like, can you make it make sense for me?
You can't rule out that the injury was caused by a knife, right?
I think it's unlikely that the injury was caused by a knife.
But you can't rule it out.
Well, if a simple knife laceration wouldn't impart the injury to the distal phalanx to result in the comminuted fracture.
Hold on, y'all. I just got some. Alright, my bad, y'all. Back to it.
Now, a chopping type, but again, that would likely come from a direction that would create a dorsal injury to create the fracture that was developed.
Do you remember giving testimony in this case, Dr. Moore?
Deposition?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. And you were under oath, correct?
correct.
All right. And that was on March 22nd, 2022, yes?
Correct.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Dr. Moore, may I please have you go to page 163 of your deposition, specifically line 17. 163. Actually, apologies, 164. Line 4.
Correct.
Question, but you can't rule it out completely, right? Answer, I can't rule anything out completely. I can't rule out that he caught it in the door, cut it with a knife, or slammed it in the car door. Or, again, as Dr. Gilmer said, we can't definitively say what caused this injury. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would object to the incomplete impeachment. I think if she's going to read his answer, she also needs to read or give Dr. Moore the chance to read the paragraph below. She just picked out half of his answer.
You can.
Nah, look, they trying to fight back. He trying to fight back. Arguable. Trying to fight back. I get it.
Redirect.
Yeah,
I'll
as
overrule the
well as the
objection.
paragraph above.
Dr. Moore, there's no question pending. Thank you, though. So you can't rule out that the injury was caused by a car door either. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. But it's your testimony sitting here today that you can rule out that the injury was caused by a vodka bottle. Is that your testimony?
My testimony is that I can rule out the injury as caused by the mechanism described by Mr. Depp in his deposition.
But you can't definitively say what caused the injury to Mr. Depp's finger.
Well, the definitive injury is a crush injury, again, I can't say. I mean, I think that it's quite likely that the initial.
Hey, man. Why my boy trying to make this shit up, man? That's what I don't get. Why my boy trying to make it up as he go along? Like, what y'all think? What y'all think? Cause he on some bullshit, man. I clearly see it. I see the bullshit too.
Initial mechanism described at the time of presentation of the accordion doors would classically create this injury pattern. You know, the hand up in front. If you picture accordion doors as the edge is closed, if the hand's up, the palm is exposed. If the door's pushed, and the
Dr.
hinge
Moore,
closes about the fingers.
I understand that. But my question is,
I think it's important that they understand that.
This is the time for me to ask you questions. Your counsel will have the ability to rehabilitate you and ask you questions on redirect. Right now, let's try my question.
Yeah.
You can't definitively say what caused the injury to Mr. Depp's fingers. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. In conducting your analysis of Mr. Depp's finger injury, you did not attempt to reconstruct the incident. Is that right?
Well, I think the incident was reconstructed. You mean
Why can't they answer with a yes or no? I don't know. Shit be slow. You feel me?
throw a vodka bottle at something?
No, no, Dr. Moore. I mean, you didn't do any type of accident reconstruction, either computerized or you didn't conduct any type of accident reconstruction of the
No,
alleged.
that's correct. My opinion is based on the medical records and the clinical images and Mr. Depp's description.
Basically what I was saying earlier, bro. Going off hearsay. Excuse me, Your Honor, that's hearsay. You heard him the whole first half of this damn shit that was going on. It was hearsay. Peep game though. The whole first half of this when Johnny Depp was on trial, her lawyer kept popping up, hearsay, Your Honor, hearsay, hearsay, Your Honor, hearsay. They even got the little memes, you feel me, Johnny like, oh yeah, there must be hearsay paperwork. So you see what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it all the way official with niggas. Let's keep it all the way official. He just admitted it was all hearsay. So he ain't did no actual research, no evidence checking, no stat checking. What she just say? Reenactment, whatever the case. Trying to see if it really happened or how it could have happened. Some computerized shit. Like, she ain't try shit. He was just going off with speculation at this point.
And your analysis is based on an understanding of how Mr. Depp described the exact position of his finger at the time of the injury, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And your analysis is also based on the assumption that Mr. Depp's hand remained completely still in the instance that a vodka bottle was hurled.
And that's also what I said earlier. If y'all motherfuckers be, you know what I'm saying? If motherfuckers be listening to me, bro, I really be saying this shit. Go back and rewind to what I said like 10, 20 minutes ago when we first started this shit. When your hand in the heat of the moment, motherfuckers get the whip, and you catch that shit at the corner of your eye type shit on some, oh shit. Instantly you gonna go to, say you ain't gonna go to cover your shit. Cover your shit. Hey. Bitch be trying to whip that bitch at you. Hey, hold on, what's going on? Stop doing that, bro. Stop doing that. Y'all can't be doing that.
Hurled at him, yes?
No, my assessment is on his description of the vodka bottle striking the top of his finger.
But his hand stayed still, according to your analysis, yes?
I guess it was still long enough for the bottle to hit it, but natural reaction would be to try to pull away.
Still can't give him a yes or
When
no.
you perform traumatic finger surgeries, you inquire about the cause of the injuries, correct?
Correct.
And your best information on
Okay, so he a finger specialist, finger surgeon specialist, I guess. Some shit to do with finger, however you say that. Dog, listen.
that is typically
You guessing.
just the self-report of the patient, yes?
Correct.
And your assumption is that the
Just like I'm guessing, bitch, because don't nobody know but Johnny and her.
patient is trying to get care. Because the patient is trying to get care, that patient is generally telling the truth, right?
You would hope so.
Yeah. You reviewed Dr. Kipper's deposition testimony informing your opinion about Mr. Depp's finger injury, correct?
Correct.
In forming your opinion, did you consider Dr. Kipper's deposition testimony that while Dr. Kipper was providing emergency treatment
Objection,
for
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Depp,
May we approach?
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor. They be mad. Just in case y'all ain't know, when they get randomly quiet like this, when they object and approach the bench, approach the judge, they gotta cut all the mics. Because they talk about shit like court, like, wait, fuck this. It's like set up to be, He make another video about that shit. But yeah, man, you know, my boy Johnny about to beat this shit like Rocky, boy. Booga, booga, booga. Cause she lying, doctors lying, perjury all over the place.
Let's start over, because it's important the jury hears this. So, in forming your opinion, did you consider Dr. Kipper's deposition testimony that while Dr. Kipper was providing emergency treatment for Mr. Depp's finger injury in Australia in the driveway of the house, Mr. Depp told him that his finger was injured when Miss Heard threw a vodka bottle at him?
I don't recall that from the deposition. I'd be happy to review it if you have the deposition available.
That's now he trying to say he don't.
Did you consider Dr. Kipper's testimony that he recalled that Mr. Depp's finger was found in the kitchen?
I do recall that.
So you must have also seen Dr. Kipper's deposition testimony that he wasn't the one who actually found the finger, correct?
That's correct.
Dr. Kipper testified that someone he thought was the chef told him he found the finger in the kitchen area, correct?
I'm going to assume so without reading the deposition now.
Did you review any testimony from Ben King in rendering your opinions today?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Did you see any of Mr. King's testimony at this trial?
I did not.
So you're not aware that Mr. King testified that he is the one who found Mr. Depp's finger, are you?
No.
And you're not aware that Mr. King testified that he found Mr. Depp's finger in the bar area, right?
Correct.
And you're not aware that Mr. King testified he found Mr. Depp's finger in a piece of tissue in the bar area, either?
No.
And you're not aware that Mr. King testified that multiple broken liquor bottles were also found in the bar area, right?
Correct.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 1817,
Wow.
which is already...
Wow. It's because the way she be doing her job, though, for real, dog. She just lets you come in. She lets you walk right through the door and be like, take your shoes off. You see the sign? Real talk. Hey, hey, niggas about to be trying to get her to be a lawyer on everything. She doing litigation. She on that. Hey, man, I should have went and been a lawyer. Fuck that shit. I ain't being no motherfucking lawyer. But look, hey, yeah, my cat depressed now, man. He saw I ain't let him sit on me and shit. He wanted to sleep on my shoulder and shit. Can't do that shit, bro. I don't know why he be on that, bro. I love his ass, but nah, bro.
in evidence. And it may be published, please.
I just don't have it yet.
That would help.
Yes. I just have a blank screen at the moment. There we go. Oh, start something.
Thank
There we
you.
go. Okay.
Have you ever seen this picture before, Dr. Moore?
No.
So you're not aware that this is the bar area where Mr. King testified he found Mr. Depp's finger?
No.
Do you see that broken vodka bottle in the back corner near the bottom of the bar?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the blood drops on the floor?
Yes.
Can we please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 1820, which is already in evidence? Have you seen this picture before, Dr. Moore?
I have not.
So you're not aware that this is also a picture from the bar area where Mr. King testified he found Mr. Depp's finger?
Correct.
Do you see the bloody tissue on the ground at the bottom of the bar?
Yes.
Do you see the blood drops around that tissue?
Yes.
So you didn't consider any of this evidence in rendering your opinion about how Mr. Depp injured his finger in Australia, did you?
I did not.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Redirect. Yes.
She just sat this shit down, boy. Stop playing, man. She just sat that man down, man. Look, this all I'm here for, man. That's all I was here for, man. I just wanted to wait until she said nothing further, Your Honor. As soon as she said that, man, we out of here, man. That's all I was here for. I wanted to see what she was gonna do with this man, cause nah, bro. Y'all let me know in the comments, man, what y'all got going on, what's y'all opinion on this. I know this was some dry shit, some bullshit, you know, some course shit. I might want to see this, but nigga, this shit was appealing to me, cause you know it hit home for the kid. You feel me? All right, man, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all be easy. I'm about to be cheesy.